All right, hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Rob here at Smirking Gun Reviews. And tonight we're going to be talking about a little movie that I don't feel like anybody has really covered that much. And I finally got to see it. I've been wanting to see this for ever since I heard about this movie. And that's the movie Vice. The somewhat true story of Dick Cheney. I love the disclaimer at the beginning of this movie saying, hey, look, this guy's kind of a mystery, so we did our fucking best. So full spoilers, if you've not seen this movie, see it. I like this kind of style that Adam McKay has been doing, whether it's with the show that he's got on HBO, it's that Succession, and with the Big Short. And this follows in suit. I love the style that he uses in these movies with lots of imagery, interesting ways of telling the story. The narrator in this is great. Jesse Plemons does a really good job as the kind of recurring narrator that you're trying to wonder where his connection to Cheney's going to become in the movie. You know that some of this is fiction, and so you got to be able to take it with a grain of salt. But there's a lot of shit in here that just feels so real. Man, just too real. And Christian Bale and the whole cast. Christian Bale, Sam Rockwell, Amy Adams, man. Oh my God. I love Amy Adams in this movie. I love how much of a C word she is in this movie. Oh my God. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, did I hate her. Boy, did I hate her. And the thing is, I don't know, man. Like I loathe Cheney myself, but you know, at least they gave Christian Bale and the performance of that man. They really made it look like he's still a mystery. You know, like part of me just kind of wonders if this guy believes in anything. And he just reminds me of like Wilson Fisk, the Kingpin. He reminds me of Lex Luthor. But at the same time, I kind of feel like this guy it's like he almost just did some of this stuff to see if he could. With like no real belief system. I think he comes from a certain kind of belief system, but man, is he flexible. But his performance, Christian Bale's performance is look, I love Rami Malek. I thought his Freddie Mercury was really good. This is so much better though. This is so much better. Christian Bale should have everybody should have just conceded and said no, because oh my gosh. Sam Rockwell is so great as George Jr. Oh my God, did they both look so much like their guys? And even though Steve Carell does not look anything like Donald Rumsfeld to me at all. His Donald Rumsfeld, man, was like the fucking highlight of this movie. I loved it. Oh my God. Oh my God, Steve Carell in this movie was so just... And Tyler Perry was what Colin Powell, and basically in this movie you get to see what happens to Colin Powell, and it's kind of like by the end of the Colin Powell stuff in this, I kind of wish that it was really Tyler Perry himself going through what Colin Powell went through at the end of his career. That's harsh, but I don't. Again, Amy Adams was just so fantastic as well. Holy gosh. It has a slew of recognizable faces and just so many cool ways of telling this story. And like the highlights for me were when Amy Adams and him just suddenly started doing a scene like Shakespeare. When the narrator was saying, what do you think we're going to do? Just like start doing this in Shakespeare, and then they do. And it's just brilliant. And then there's the scene in the restaurant where they're all looking at their menus, and Alfred Molina, who you guys might know, like he's Doc Ock or whatever, but he's a good actor, man. Alfred Molina's a really good actor, and he's just this waiter reading off the menu of like all these like renditions are on there, and climate change, and just all this stuff is on there, and they're just all like, we'll have one of each. Oh my gosh, just the way they do that in this movie. Christian Bale's speech at the end, you know, is so fitting, and just and you really can't, you know, like, I know he's bad, but it's just like such an interesting story. I'm a real history buff. And it's just amazing how people like him exist. Because whether I love him or hate him, like, oh my God, this guy like had goals and he accomplished them. And he knows how to get things done. And it's just, it's disturbing. It's disturbing. And all the things that, you know, they show that, you know, really put in perspective of like what you know, because of Cheney, certain things are the way they are still, and it's crazy. And I like the ending credits scene where they're doing the focus group, except it's for today, and they're judging the movie. I thought that was a really nice little what is that? What do they call that? I don't fucking know. But anyway. Just going over the course of history and the way he did things all the way back to the Nixon administration, it's just it's a fascinating look at a guy that people don't really know much about. And yeah, this movie is definitely, you know, looks at it a certain way, but it also seems fair to me, though, because they don't, you know, they kind of treat him like he's the hero of his own story. You know, they always say, you know, villains, a lot of villains, they don't think they're the villain. And so they just kind of portray it as, this is the facts about things. Judge, you know, like, I don't know. I came away with, you know, I already knew how I felt going into this movie, and it didn't really change the way I felt afterwards, but it did make me see things from like a fuller perspective. And some of the ins and outs and things like that just were disgusting. Just disgusting. And like I said, yes, you know, they fictionalized some of this. So does every, you know, true story out there. So, you know, you take every one of these movies with a grain of salt. You know, this is not any more different than any other true story. But I just love McKay's style here, and man, like, I can't wait to keep seeing more of what he does going forward. And that's it. Like, I mean, I guess I've told some things, but there's just so much to look forward to in this movie. It is long, but there's just so much really good stuff in this that if you're if you like great screenplays and acting, and I'm just thinking of all the things that, yeah, this makes a great movie. You know, if you don't like politics and stuff like that, it's still important to watch. It's still an important movie, and I really wish, I'm happy to be somebody who's actually talking about it. I don't expect a lot of views on this, but anybody that does and watches it all the way through, and, you know, hopefully if you haven't, you know, if you didn't want to watch this movie before this review, and you've changed your mind and you want to see it, then I've done my job. So anyway, if you like this review, please hit the like button, comment, share, subscribe, all that jazz. And yeah, I guess my review is, it's a really fucking goddamn good movie, and I like it, and I can't wait to buy this sucker on Blu-ray. So yeah, this is Rob at Smirking Gun Review saying have a great night, and we will see you next time. Bye.